Hmm. নমস্কার, শুভ সন্ধ্যা সবাইকে। Good evening everyone and a warm welcome to Kolkata R user Group's 11th virtual meetup. I am Samrit, lead organizer of Kolkata R user Group and by profession statistical modeler and art developer. Our group is a proud, diverse and inclusive community welcoming individuals from all backgrounds and industries. So whether you are a student, researcher or professional or simply curious about statistics, data science and even art, we invite you to join our sessions, ask questions and learn from each other. So if you missed out our previous sessions, do check out our YouTube channel. I will put the link in the chat section. The recordings are available there. And do not forget to subscribe the channel and do follow us on LinkedIn to get all the updates. So without further ado, let's welcome today's distinguished speaker, Mr. Nithin M, who will enlighten us on the topic of dynamic documents using Quarto and purrr. So Nitin is an assistant professor at the Department of Development Economics, Kerala Agricultural University, and a PhD candidate in economics at the IIT Kharagpur. He was awarded the North 2021 Fellowship for his contributions to the art community. So thank you so much, Nitin, for joining us today, and over to you.
Hello, am I audible first?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you Samrit, for inviting me at the very outset. I extend my gratitude for inviting me for this, and I'm very excited to be speaking at Kolkata R useR Group. In fact, I did not know about such a community while I was at Kharagpur, so I
Hmm.
feel that I missed an opportunity there, else I could have meet with you all of you. So without further thing, let's get started. I'll try share my screen.
Yeah, let me stop sharing my screen. You can
Yeah,
go ahead.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this is visible.
Yes, it is visible now.
Okay. So yeah, so today, my talk is titled Dynamic Documents with Quarto and purrr. And like Samrit said, I checked out your YouTube channel and I saw that there was a session on Quarto, so I'll not spend much time on Quarto, but I'll be happy to take any questions along the way if you have any clarifications regarding Quarto. So yeah, somebody was asking the repo. You can scan this QR code to get the materials, and I'll wait for 2 minutes so that you can get the Quarto files so that you can follow along. I tried to put this in the website, but somehow it is rendering just as an HTML file. But I'll give you the. I put my website or the slides for this talk also in the chat. Okay. So yeah, if you try this, I think the HTML page is also visible, but it's not rendered properly. I do not know. This is the first time I'm facing an issue. I could not fix it up in this short notice, but I think at least all of you are having access to the repo with that scanner.
Certo l'abbiamo. Bravo.
Yes, shall I? If you're getting, can you please confirm whether that repo is available?
You already put the link in the chat, right?
Yeah, that is also there, but you can also try in the scanner if you want.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, of course, Samrit has already introduced me. So I am an
Actually,
assistant.
sorry to interrupt, the link is not working, I think. Could you check once? The link
The
you,
GitHub in the chat.
uh, in the chat, the link you shared in the chat is not working.
Okay. Okay, I will copy that again. That was for slides, I think. So maybe this will work. Try this, the latest one. It is working. I'm
Yeah,
just
it
checking.
is working. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So and my screen is still visible, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
your screen is visible. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I'll talk mostly about Quarto because of the reproducible because the documents made in Quarto is reproducible, and the reproducibility is a big issue, especially when you are in academia and when you in a subject like economics also. Most of the journals now require you to produce your results fully reproducible. Even when you are working in a data science industry, your copy-paste workflows can cause errors or inconsistencies while copying and pasting. And it is also hard to update results across a long documents if you are doing everything manually. And when you are having a reproducible workflow, it ensures clarity. And also, even when you have to go back to modify a little bit of part, the automation part will come in handy. And Quarto enables all this by integrating text with codes so that your results are reproducible. So yeah, as you all know, Quarto is an open source scientific and technical publication system developed by POSIT. It supports most of the coding programming languages like R, Python, and Julia. It also supports Stan, Bash, and other stuff which I'm not very familiar with. And of course, it also has the facility to export your documents to multiple output formats like HTML, PDF, Word, and Typist. I do not know how many of you are aware about this new format called Typist. I'll try to demonstrate the beautiful documents that can be produced, and of course with PPT. Okay, and then this is one of my most favorite packages in the whole R ecosystem. It's a purrr package, which help us to do the things repeatedly without using a for loop, and it iterates cleanly over variable. This is especially helpful when you are doing multiple plots and all, where going inside the plots elements require you to write multiple for loops, which can be messy at sometimes. And of course, the tidyverse integration with purrr is a game changer, because when you try apply family and all, you cannot pipe things from one end to other. And purrr is more faster than the apply family. And the best part is it is type consistent, because when you use map, you always know the output is a list. Unlike when you use apply family, where you use sapply, the output can be different according to the context. So some common purrr functions are map. A map is for iterating over one object. So you can see .x and .f. And of course, we have map2, pmap. Pmap is for many objects. IMAP and walk. So means most common used map purrr functions are these. Of course, we have other functions like compose and keep and discard also for getting some other functions, which I'm not much concerned in this talk. So yeah, this is the topic that is the heart of my presentation today. So in Quarto, we have a feature called parameterized reporting. So this is used to create different variations of a document from a single document. So for example, you can say you have to show result for a specific geographic location, like say if you want to have a report for all the 28 states of India, without parametric reporting and feature of Quarto, you might need to write 28 reports and compile it. But with Quarto and parameterized reports, you can try to make it master template, which can be iterated over to get reports in multiple ways. Okay. So yeah, maybe you need multiple features also. Like I said, right now it was only about geographic location, but you can maybe add one more dimension in particular time period. So you had two combinations, year and a geographic location. Say 1951 Kerala and say 2020 Kerala. So suppose even if you're doing two time periods and 28 states, without a parametric reporting, you might need to write around 56 documents, which is time consuming, error prone, and is not scalable. So parameterized reporting help you to accomplish all this, and I'll try to demo that a couple of minutes later. So in Quarto, basically, Quarto, like I said, is a poly language. So you can maybe use R or Python. So if you're using R, the ng is parameter. So if you're using R, you have to specify your parameters like this in the YAML, top part of your Quarto, which I know most of you are familiar with. Okay. So this is the spectrum. So if you are, so basically you can do your analysis in these four ways: fully manual, mostly automated, or fully automated. When it is fully manual, you write, say you want to generate a plot for Kerala and other 28 states, you write 28 code chunks for 28 states. That is fully manual. When you are using mostly manual, you do this for a once combine Quarto and narrative into one Quarto document, and then you will manually change everything. Okay. Then you have fully automated, where you use a script file to render all the combinations. Fine. So this is how your parameters reporting will work in Quarto. You have a master template file .qmd, which has your inputs, parameters, and all. And then when you change your parameters, maybe for example in this case here, you get 5 reports from this one report. So I think that is exciting when you are writing long reports, because when I joined my organization, Kerala State Planning Board, once, I used this feature to generate some 30 reports in hardly like 1 hour or so. So it's doable, and I hope, yeah. So how to create a parameterized report? So this is our roadmap. We will set the YAML and we will define the parameters based on our data that we are dealing with. And then we'll do rendering at once for a beginner thing, and then we'll do all at once. Okay. So this is the idea. So if you are in R, if you are using only R, you need to specify parameter only in this way. You have to specify these params and what are the things that you want to change inside your YAML. This is in R. And if you are using Python, you need to create another code cell in your Jupyter notebook and specify, or even in your even in your Quarto, you need to have a .python code chunk with a tag parameters. So this will help Quarto to understand that parameters are passed from this particular chunk. It's a little bit trickier in Python, but yeah, it can be done. So even when you need to change just one parameter, the easiest way is to change that parameter and press Ctrl+Shift+K in RStudio or render button in VS Code. Then you can keep changing. For example, you have only one code chunk, which is written in such a way that when your parameter change, these code cells are getting repeated. I'll show you that. So then you can manually keep changing for 28 states, or use yeah. So this is your option. You can keep manually changing and press render button. That is the most manual way. Else you can use command line and just change the parameters. So here, this is your command. Quarto render is your default command. Template.qmd is the master template. And you pass this flag.p and what are the parameters. So if you have only one parameter, say here, you just need this. You don't need this. Okay, and you can keep repeating this. That is your first option. The second option is you can create a YAML file, params.yml, and there you can specify your parameters. Okay, and then pass that in this option, execute params.yml. Okay, right. And this is your last option. This is the one that can be used to scale up your documents. So here we are using Quarto package from R, and we have a function called Quarto render, which takes an input argument where your input argument is your template.qmd file, and then you can specify the parameters. What are the parameters on which you want your document to be rendered? Any question? If you are, feel free to stop me at any point if you have any questions. Okay. So all variations at once is mostly accomplished by using Quarto render function along with your per pmap or pwalk. So that is why this talk is titled as dynamic documents with Quarto and purrr. So you need both to accomplish all variations of the document at once. So this is your end workflow. So you create a report. So you see the steps. You create a report template without parameters. That is your most naive way. Then you create some default parameters, replace hard-coded value with parameters, then run the single document and review. Then you can check whether your document is working as expected. Maybe you can check for your rough edges or extreme cases, and then use a script to render all variations at once. So this is the workflow that we will try to follow. And yeah, this is the end of the, so I'll try to quickly do more demos. So I'm quickly running through the presentation. So parametrics reports work like a magic, and I hope I can show you that. So these are the references. So I think I'll put the slides in the chat after this. And the acknowledgement are mostly from Jade Ryan's blog post on Quarto parameters. And when I'm using a new document output template, I have borrowed extensively from Albert Rapp in his YouTube video. The link is in the slides, but of course I have modified it to suit my taste. So let's go to the live demo. So I'll show. Any questions till now, or shall I go to the live demo? So I will share my. So my positron window is visible. Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay. So last week we had a talk on the positron. So this is the new IDE that I am using. I hope some of you might have already been trying with positron. So if you are having access to my GitHub repo, you can try opening Penguins plain.qmd for a beginning. Okay. So, and you can see that this in this report I am not using. Okay, I should not have used. Okay, try to use penguins.qmd. Okay, for now, because I have made little bit changes. So you can try penguins.qmd and try to render that. You you can see this preview command here in positron. If you are in VS Code, you'll have a render function. And if you are on RStudio, I think you have render function. I'm not using RStudio for some time. So is it working? So here you can see that this is the part that I was talking mostly about. So I have defined a param for species. So I want this report to iterate over the species about the dataset which you all are most familiar with, the Palmer penguins data. So I'm trying to create a report for each species of penguins here. So here you can see that my document is ready with yeah. So you can see that it is showing the report for Adelaide penguins, and it is all dynamic. You can try changing it with Kendu, and you see the report gets updated. I have given little bit color coding. I'm sorry, excuse me. Yeah. So now you can see that although the color is not changing due because of species, because that is done in a different way. You could have specified that also as a parameter. So let me walk you through this. So my first code chunk loads the required packages, and ignore this code chunk for now. The next is again to specify the colors. So this, I hope it's okay for you. So here I am, this part is deciding my color. So for my plots, when you are using params dollar species, params is a list object, so you can access your parameters inside your document in R using the dollar sign. So this is saying that when the species is Adelaide, give this color, and when it is Gendu, this color, and so on. And again, ignore this for now. This is for a different format of typelist. And then here I am using inline code. So our params dollar species will evaluate to Adelaide when your species is Adelaide, and then all these are pure R codes. So here I'm trying to create a table based on that filter. So inside filter, instead of specifying, if you are not using parameters, you would have done this species is equal to Adelaide, right? You can try that. You would have done this. Instead of this, I'm trying this so that it is becoming dynamic. And you see, when you're changing the species name, it is automatically updating. And then, yeah, this is to create a plot. So that is your basic plot, basic penguins data. So any doubts here? Or is it working for everyone? Any issues or any
Nithin,
questions?
there is a question in chat section.
Yeah. Have you worked with interactive charts now that you have uploaded? No, not yet, not yet. I am mostly an academic, so I try to create reports and question papers, and so I have not tried with a interactive chart yet. But of course, it can be doable in this setup. You can refer to Isabella Valanquist. There is a blog post where she explained this in creating interactive dashboards using Quarto and parameters. Okay. Okay. So now this is just one a species. Let us scale it up and see with penguin species.qmd. So now I'm in the another document, penguin species.qmd. So now I need, so when you are using Palmer penguins data, let me show you. So penguins data, let us load this chunk. And if you are seeing penguins data, we have three, okay, oh, this will not work. All right, fine. Library. So when you work here and you see penguins, we have three factor variables. Basically, we have species, island, and of course year. So here I am interested in getting a report for each species for each year. All right. So here, therefore, I have specified two parameters here, species and year. Now, these are just some LaTeX comment when I'm interested in a PDF output. We'll come to that. So again, my code is almost the same, just that now I have two filters. So here I have year is equal to params dollar year, and I'm also I have also params dollar species. So now I have two parameters working in tandem to get me the report. For each year, now I'll get a report. So let me preview this. So here, because the first output is HTML, it will be an HTML file, so it will not take longer, but you can try PDF, okay? I have set some color formatting for that, which if you are aware of LaTeX, it might make sense. So now you see that this is for now in 2000, so here it is changing. In 2009, there were 52 penguins. So here you have two inputs, your species and your year. All right. Now let me change that to see whether it is working. So I'll change this to Gendu, and you can try changing it to 2007, and let's see how the report works. So this is especially useful when you are working in an organization like a, say, policy making institution or a consultancy firm where you have to do multiple reports and which have a common structure. All right. So now you see that the species has changed and year, and accordingly the data is updated. So is the plots. So now this means I had 3 into the year is 3 years, I guess. So if it is 3 years, you have 9, a combination of reports that can be made. So manually you can do that 9 times, or you can use the parameterized report, the Quarto render function that I was talking about. Okay, so let us see how to do this in render. So I hope you have a function called render.r also. So in my slides, I was telling we were using this render function. So you can try to run this code from line 46 to line 71. Don't try to run the other codes. That is for something different. I'll come to that. I have not explained that yet as of now. So this is so basically now we have talked about two kinds of two reports. One where you have only one parameter, and now you have two parameters, right? So later, if you try to render this, you will see that it will start to render. Okay, that is because I have not used this library. And yeah, you can try this. And when you try this, you will see that all combinations of inputs will start to appear. So basically, you'll have some 6 reports, I guess. If here are only 2. Let's wait for a couple of minutes. Okay. Is it working for everyone without any issues? Yeah. Any questions in the chat by the time it renders? Yeah. So you can see that my reports are getting generated. So now I have an Adelaide 2007 report here. And Gendu 2008. Whatever is that. So yeah, Chinstrap. Okay. Fine. So we have 3 combinations, but I'll try to figure out what's happening. But at least now you have 3 reports which you can see. Okay, fine. So now let's go to some other issues. So sometimes you might not only want reports separately, but rather in one continuous code. For example, if you have if you want to prepare reports for country and state-wise, like say if you are 5 different countries, like if you want to prepare a reports for BRICS nations, okay, so country is your top parameter, and then for each country you need to know the report by geographical locations also. Like for example, India you need by 28 states. Maybe China have some 52 provinces or something like that. So maybe if you want to create something like that, where reports should be based on 2 conditions, you can use what is called child report. So here I will use penguins parent.qmd. Where is that? Yeah, parent penguins.qmd. You can take that file now. Okay, so here you can see that I am trying to use again this particular code chunk. Okay, so here this report, my objective here is to for each species of penguins, I want their report by the islands that they live. For example, in the your Palmer penguins dataset, Adelaide penguins live in 3 different islands. So I want the report for Adelaide in all the islands. For Gendu, if they are living in some particular islands, that report, etc. So if you can try doing this. I mean, yeah, fast. Are you able to follow? Should I give time to follow and take some questions? Samrit, how does this work? Okay. So here you can see that I'm trying to generate a report for Adelaide species. But for each island, I need this report to be. So here, this is because it is Gendu, it is living only in one island. So I have one report for Gendu, and I'll change this to Adelaide and see how this works. Please try to experiment on yourself so that you can have some doubts and we'll try to clarify. Okay. So now you see that when I change this to Adelaide, Adelaide is living in Bisco. For that, we have a report. It is living in Dream. For that, we have a report. And it is living in Torgenson Island. So that also we have a report, but all are in one report. If you had tried to do this using here, this, so maybe you could have tried something like this also, Island. And then you could have tried Dream, for example. But the problem here is if you try like this, it will become 2 reports. So you have reports for Adelaide Dream, Adelaide Bisco, and Adelaide Torgenston. So the report will be different. But here, sometimes you might want a continuous report for just one parameter. So that is when you use this feature called child document. So I'm removing this. You can see how I set up my child document here. So please take child penguins.qmd. So here you can see that I'm trying to pass, this is lazy evaluation from your, what is the package called? I forgot. Rlang. So Rlang allows you to do this as lazy evaluation. So I'm trying to make a template for each island. And this is passed as a child document to your main parent document. So you can see that this child penguins.qmd is working in tandem with parents penguins. So here I am doing that. Okay, so this chunk, what it is doing, first it is filtering for the species. Okay, so species is done in the top by the params argument of the YAML. Then I am using map to create a code, a template for each island. I'm knitting it together using knit expand function from the knitter. And then that comes out as a list because, as I told you, map always gives a list. I use flatten to split the list, and then I pass again itself to pass it into a raw text, and then that raw text is expanded using this inline code. What is the advantage here? You do not, suppose you had even 100 states, you don't need to do it again. Everything is done here just by this many lines, and you have reports for all the islands for each species. Okay, let me take it little bit more further. Now the best part about this is you can see that your table and figures are also automatically cross-referenced. You don't need to manually go and specify the cross-references. The advantage about this is all tables and figures will have an identical referencing tag, which is dynamically generated so that you don't need to do it manually. So you can see that there are around 6 tables and 3 figures. If I was doing manually, I'll have to have referenced all this manually in Quarto using that Quarto's referencing syntax. But because I have made it in this child format, so here you can see that this particular div is generating the required tag for tables, and this is for figures, and that I am using in my reporting. So at fig tag will make sure that the referencing is figures, and then I'm specifying that I need this for each island. So island is changing dynamically using the Rlang package. So that's the idea here. Okay, and the best part is when you are using this label tag, the figures are also automatically saved. You don't need to use another save command to save all your figures. So when you are using Quarto, you are rendering Quarto in this setup, your figures are also automatically saved, which you can maybe further use for some other talks or or other activities that you may want to engage in. All right, so if you change your output to PDF, you will get PDF figures also. So here you can see that your penguins species file will have all the figures also generated. Okay, because I have not used the render function, there is only one figure. But if I am using the render function, I could have got all the figures. So here you can see, because we are using only for Adley had 3 figures. All the figures are automatically saved in your project folder, which you can further use. So I'll stop here for a couple of minutes to take any questions if there are any questions. All PDF, those. Ahmed, can you? I don't understand. Get you properly. Yeah, if you are having PDF also, this work exactly, no issue. All you have to do is to just change the output here, where in your parent penguins.qmd, I have already set it to get, sorry, this here, yeah, typist is actually a new format, which will give you a PDF output. So you can try this. I'll show you the PDF output. One minute. So there is absolutely no issue. So I'm changing preview format to preview typist. So let's see how this works. You'll get a long output, absolutely no issue. So you can see the typist will give you some very typist will give you some very nice formatting, which you cannot get in LaTeX. So nowadays I'm not using LaTeX much. Yeah, so Dr. Abhi, I will just try to comment out and we'll work it together. But let me show the typist output now. I'll come to that. So you can see the nice formatted typist output, which is a long document like Ahmed was asking. So now my species is Adelaide, and I need reports for 3 islands. Okay, so you can see Disco is there, Dream is there, and Torgensen is there. And I have put it in a nice format where I have added my name, and you can see that the color is also coded. You can try to change this from here to Gendo, and you will see typist will change that. So you can get long format, absolutely no issue. And the thing is, let me go to LaTeX first. The Typist is a new format that is introduced. So Typist has a faster compiling time than LaTeX. So you see, and it is easier to learn actually. LaTeX has a lot of curly brackets and backslashes. If you miss one thing, it will go in outer par mode, which will not be easy to fix the errors. So that's about the presentation. Now you can try rendering. So here you have two options. So I'm using this to render all my documents. And what I'm doing is I'm using FS package. So one thing that you have to notice earlier when you are using R Markdown, there was an option where you can decide where your reports are saved. But Quarto now does not allow that unless you have a _quarto quarto.yml file which specifies that the project is a project. And if it is not a project, you cannot specify your output directory, for which I have used this trick. So I am using FS package to move my files to output folder, and I'm trying to render that using walk function from purrr. So the difference between walk and map is walk will not have side effects. So I do not want any object to come into my global environment. I just want my output. Okay. You can try LaTeX output. So maybe penguin species.qmd. Here you can try a PDF. I'll just delete this HTML file, and then I'll try to do preview with PDF. And I have used some LaTeX formatting. That is why this including header preamble is there. That will set my styles. And here also I have used some nice styles, which if you do not want, you can try skipping. But the problem with LaTeX is it will take a lot of time to compile. So even if you are doing a report for 3 species and 2 parameters, it will take long time to compile. So I'll advise, my suggestion is to use Typist template. So you can see this works, but it will take some time. So let's wait for a couple of seconds. Okay, I'll skip that because maybe my LaTeX packages need to update, but there will not be any other error, I promise. So let me quickly explain to you about Typist before I open this for questions. So here you can see that when you are using Typist, you need to specify 2 parameters. One is the show.type file, and then this it is the template.type file. So I have already given it to you. So show.type will tell you what are the parameters that is passed from Quarto as metadata into the Typist. So here I wanted title, author, and param.species. So those are the metadata that I want Quarto to pass to Typist. So what you want to pass from Quarto param YAML to Typist, you have to specify in your show.type. If you are comfortable with LaTeX, you might be already knowing about this $sign, if title, etc. Then your template.typ sets all that nice formatting. So here I am saying that my document font is Cambria. So you see this font. Let me set the font. I'm using Cambria font. I'm saying that I want my paper margin to be this, and see the easiness with which I could set the number format. If you are doing this in LaTeX, you would know the pain, how to set the number, and this is for justification. And you need to say, declare that whatever you are passing in Quarto body need to come to the document. So with this simple setup, I was able to get that nice report, which I showed you sometime before. So this nice report is just based on the little bit of formatting. So you can see it changes colors, and all the document is dynamically updated, all with typist. And you have the render function. Let me explain to you render function now. Maybe
Nithin, you are not audible. We cannot hear you, Nithin. You are not audible. Nithin, your voice is not coming actually. I think there is an issue in your network or maybe in audio device. Could you please check? No, still not. We can see you. Your screen is visible, but we cannot hear you. Not audible. Please rejoin. Otherwise, it will not be helpful.
yeah. Is my screen visible? No, no, right? No.
Not yet.
Okay. Yeah. So here I was talking about doing batch reporting. So when you are using one species, you need to specify only one. You maybe you can do this dot x. You don't need to specify what is the maybe you can do species also, but it's easier to put just dot x. So here what I am doing, this much command will give me all the species in a vector format that I am passing to walk, which is a variant of map. Again, I'm doing some adjustments to get me output file name. Okay. Then I'm passing this into Quarto render function where my input template is penguins.qmd, and I'm telling that I need PDF output. Okay. So if you need just plain LaTeX, you can specify PDF, but I like to do a typist. And because I have given my file name as .pdf, it will render as a PDF. And then I am saving it into a new folder outputs, which I am creating here. So let us do that real quick. So output is created, and now I am running this. Yeah. I'll take little bit more time and I'll show you how to do this in Python. Too, if some of you are doing Python, okay?
So you can see that in my output folder, things start to appear. Now this is only one format. So you have penguin speed adlay. So this was a simple report. I did not use child documents here. Now I have Gendu coming. All right. So I hope you can try it with yourself and it works. Please let me know if it is not working, but it will work. Okay. So all the reports are there in the output folder. So this, let me tell you, is only because I'm not using this particular project as a project, because I do not have a underscore quarto.yml file as of now. That is why. Else you can directly use output dir function, output dir argument in your Quarto render, which I'm not doing now. Fine. You can, if you want this report with child, you can change your input argument here, because we still have only one species. So we had this penguins child, parent penguins. So maybe instead of penguins, I can type parent penguins.qmd and I can try to render this again and it will work. It will again give you all other outputs, where now I'll have reports for, like Ahmad was asking, for India, you'll have 28 states, but only one report. If you are doing it only with params, what is happening? You will have 28 reports for Indian states. So it depends upon your use cases. Sometimes you might need 28 reports for 28 states. Sometimes you might require one long report with 28 states. So if this is the case, one long report with 28 states, you should use child document. If you are using, if you need 28 reports for 28 states, you don't need to worry about the child document, which is you can just use params, which is simpler. Okay. So now you see the reports are having all the long documents. So this is the second case where I'm using child documents. Okay. And the because typist is a new thing in Quarto. Typist is a new feature in typist is not fully matured. That is why when you use typist, you do not get the figures automatically saved into your library. But that is also because typist does not want it to save, so that it will take another round of rendering. So maybe because of that, typist is faster. So if you want figures to be saved, try to use HTML or PDF as the output option. But if you want a faster rendering and this nice formatting, try to use template. Typist. Okay. And I'll stop last by showing you how this works in Python. Okay. So for this, I'm trying to use the Gapminder dataset because this was something I worked long back. So you can also see that your title can also be dynamic. So you see here I am specifying Gapminder data, continent-wise analysis, and here I want for which continent this is coming. So by now you should have already understood my objective here is for each continent, I want country-wise report. So basically we have 7 continents and around 190 countries. So maybe you can have 190 reports. If that is your objective, you could have just set params equal to country. But here my objective is I want for each continent, I want the report for all the countries in that continent. Okay. So let me quickly go through this. So here I'm again using this code chunk. I'm using Pacman to load all the packages. I am also using Reticulate to use Python. So maybe if you want, you can use native Python without using Reticulate. But the problem is in Python, we do not have this Quarto library as not Quarto library, the knitr child function is not available in Python. So if you are using native Python with Jupyter, you will need to write lot of print statements to get that code chunks generated dynamically. So what I'm doing instead is I'm using reticulate package to call Python, but my analysis is still in R. My engine is Knitter. Okay. So because my engine is Knitter, I have all the features of using child document. I'm using basically 3 libraries, NumPy, Pandas, Seaborn. And of course, these are default Python conventions. So here you can see that I am specifying that in my report, I want country-wise analysis, and this is the section header. Rest, all contents for this is coming from child document. So this much is again coming from child document, which I have in child template.qmd. So child template.qmd is setting all the thing. So here I have made use of both Python and R. So here you can see this is done in R. This was one of my project where I wanted to try to integrate R and Python together. So here you can see I have filtered data in R, and that data I have passed to Python, and all the figures are being generated in Python, but the report is generated in R. Okay, so these are the possibilities. So let me quickly preview this. Here I have given you multiple formats again. So let us quickly run through this and see how this works. Might take some time because there will be around 20-25 countries in America. So it need to do a report for all the 20-25 countries. So please try to render it in your machine, because maybe my machine is little bit slower. Taking a little bit longer than I am expecting to. So meanwhile, are there any other questions? So let's take some time to render this. So these are the possibilities using your Quarto with parameterized reporting and child documents. And of course, I'm using purrr package for batch rendering. So recently I had set a question paper for my for 43 students. I had set 43 question papers for them using this technique. So it has real practical applications also. For that, I used Typist. So if you are making use of both Quarto and purrr, you can do many wonderful things, and that is why during my presentation I was telling Quarto parameterized reporting works like magic. So let us see this. I hope my screen is visible. So you can see that I am doing it for America. So I have the report for all the countries. So for each country, I'm trying to do a scatter plot and a summary table. So that was my objective. So you can see that everything, title, figure caption, table caption, cross-referencing, everything works like a charm. And I have done hardly anything manually. So that's the end. That's what I would like to end, and I'll take questions if there are any. Thank you.
Thank you, Nitin, for your wonderful session.
Thank you.
So we will take the questions from the audience. So if you have any question, please drop in the chat section, or you can directly ask the speaker by unmute yourself. Sorry, I am not sure about the certificate link you are asking. Okay, so if you have no question, we can wrap up the session here. And yeah, thank you once again, Nitin, for
Thank
your
you.
wonderful session. We have learned a lot about Quarto. And yeah, so we will have our next session on mid-October. So till then, keep learning and take care. Uh, and thank you once
Thank you,
again,
everyone.
Nitin. Yeah, thank you, everyone. Good night.